saw this movie, and here's, I think, the issue with it, and we're not critics, but why maybe it's not going to break out in a giant way to mainstream audiences. This movie is confusing.
Okay.
Because do you actually know what the switch is in this movie? As someone who is never going to see this, are you aware of what the new switch is?
The little girl switch with the older women.
Yeah. Can I give you just my pitch of what I think would have been a better box office version of this switch?
Sure, but we're not screenwriters, huh?
We're not screenwriters, but I think just from the box office, I think this would have worked better.
Okay, you're looking at the business side.
I'm looking at the business side. I'm not trying to fix this from a, wannabe screenwriter. I'm looking at dollars and cents. What could have played better? What could have worked better in the promotion? So, first of all, you get rid of this friend. The other teenage girl, she's out of the movie, gone. You got Lindsay Lohan. You got Jamie Lee Curtis. Lindsay Lohan is the daughter. The family also has a dog. And you do this, Lindsay Lohan and her daughter, they could switch. That's great. Mother-daughter switch. And then the other switch is Jamie Lee Curtis switches with the family dog.
Okay.
And that is your double switch.
So it's still a double switch.
It's still a double switch. I mean, I think they were in a corner.
You can't just have them switch again.
It's either you have them switch again,
which you
could have done. That would have been the simplest, straightforward way. It's happening again,
and just remind them of what the lessons that they had forgotten.
Yes.
Over all these years.
Yes, and new lessons, and you. I guess the thing that they loved is teenager switching with an adult is a dramatic switch, whereas middle-aged woman switching with old woman. Does that feel as dramatic of a life change? A 40-year-old switching with a 80-year-old, 90-year-old, whatever Jamie Lee Curtis is.
90.
Is that as dramatic of a change, or are their lives kind of the same?
Yeah.
So I get why they didn't want to do that, but you switch the mother and daughter, great, and then you've got Jamie Lee Curtis playing the character of the soul of a dog in her.
Okay.
And she's barking the whole movie.
But she doesn't do the talking thing.
No, because the dog soul cannot speak.
Okay.
So Jamie Lee Curtis's hands and feet, she's hands and knees crawling around, barking.
Yeah.
And then the dog has Jamie Lee Curtis's soul in the dog, but a dog can't physically speak, so that the dog is also just barking.
Yeah.
Even though Jamie Lee Curtis is like trapped. Her mind could understand speech, but she can't speak it.
Okay.
And so I think that plays better in the Heartland. Now you're from the sticks. You're what some would say a bumblefuck. Some would say that. It's been written.
Some.
What do you think of that box office wise? Do you think the people from the hick town that you came from would have gravitated more towards if Jamie Lee Curtis had switched with a dog?
Well, you see, you act as if people on the coast don't have dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm tripping over dogs.
Right.
Right? So I do think box office wise, yeah.
Right.
I think it's a better fit for the whole country.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, great. I agree. I mean, listen, go around Brooklyn and every bar you go into, people have got their dogs on the floor.
Yeah.
They got their dogs and they got their strollers with them.
Oh, yeah.
And if you were saying, hey, in this movie, Jamie Lee Curtis switches with a dog, they would look at their dog and be like, my dog is the most important thing in my life.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Absolutely.
And then you got in the stacks, people got their hunting dogs with them, working dogs, and so they are also dog people in a different way. I think that would have worked better. I think you could have added 20% if instead of a teenage girl, Jamie Lee Curtis's character switched with a dog.
And then, do we see Jamie Lee Curtis go to the bathroom?
Yeah. So when I posed this, because I did pose this to my 8-year-old niece afterwards, I posed her, what if? What do you think?
Okay.
And I posed her the idea of Jamie Lee Curtis switching with a dog. She had some reservations, and she went right to that.
Of course.
Which was So does the granny pee on the floor?
Yeah.
And I said yes.
Okay.
And more.
And more.
And more.
That's the plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's and then she's like she was both laughing but also kind of disturbed by who's picking it up. That was her big question. And I was like, listen, and I'm not going to say her name because of anonymity, but I was like,
So important.
Pretend you're a studio executive.
Yeah.
She didn't know what that meant. I said, just go with it. You're a
Just think
studio
of a guy in a suit who's so scared to lose their job that they never make a bold, creative decision.
Got it. That was what she said when I explained it that way. She said, got it. And I said, the dog, Granny's going to be a dog. And that was her big thing, is who's picking up after it. It goes to the bathroom on the floor. And I said, that's the mom who's got the body of the teenager. So the grandchild is now picking up the excrement that comes out of the body of her granny.
Yeah.
Who has the soul of a dog inside of her.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's the dramatic tension, the comedic tension of you've got this granddaughter who's got to clean up the mess that her grandmother has made on the floor because she's got the soul of a dog in her.
Well, it's about generation. I mean, it's sort of what Weapons is a little bit about as well. If you if you want to read into Weapons, is just like the older generation creating messes for the younger generation, and that's what that is. And I think that would resonate, especially with Gen Zers who feel that way.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay, Boomer. I mean, that you could have.
We're still cleaning up the boomers' poopy.
Right. It's all a metaphor for the collapse of Social Security and all the social programs and what they did to the real estate market. And it's all right there.
And the ozone.
Nobody
layer. Wants to say it.
Yeah.
I'm the only guy who talks about the ozone layer. Okay.
Yeah.
Did we forget?
Yeah.
Does it not exist?
This guy remembers the ozone. This guy remembers what that generation, the boomers, have done to the ozone.
With their hairspray.
With their Aquanet. I mean, they were the Aquanet generation. There was the me generation and the Aquanet generation.
Mm-hmm.
And they were out there, Drew Carey opening the door, just spraying it. Where's this global warming? And they did it. And it's laid bare in what should have been the version of Freakier Friday, where Jamie Lee Curtis, the soul of a dog, is pooping all over the floor, and her granddaughter in the body of her mom is cleaning it up. And it's all a metaphor for what the boomers have done to us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're right. It resonates in the heartland because they love anything with a dog, and it resonates on the coast because, okay, boomer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that version of Freakier Friday, even though this version is doing well and it showed that it should have been in theaters instead of D+, this version's at 54.7 million. That version is probably at 75, 80 million right now.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. It would have given Weapons a run for its money.
Last switch then.
Okay.
If, let's say, for whatever reason, Jamie Lee Curtis was like, I'm not coming back to the Freaky Friday franchise. I did that. I enjoyed my time there, but I've won an Oscar. I've won guest Emmys for The Bear in the guest in a comedy category.
Did she win an Emmy?
I think she did.
Oh.
I think she did. That's the rumor going around, is that she won an Emmy for guest in a comedy series for The Bear. And she said, I did that. I'm not coming back to the Freaky Friday series. So they recast the role, Jamie Lee Curtis's role in Freaky Friday, with Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
And they also did what they should have done in the script, which is had that character switch with a dog instead of a teenager.
Here we go. All right. Not your thing, though.
Not my thing.
Okay.
I'm posed. I know it's the second version of this I'm posing in one episode, but it is not my thing.
Okay.
Especially on my birthday, it is not my thing. That scenario where it's now Pamela Anderson has taken the role that is vacated by Jamie Lee Curtis, and her character switches with a dog. Is Freakier Friday already at 100 million domestic?
No, because I feel like, you use your nieces as an example, and of course we're not going to name them because anonymity is so important.
So important.
They were expecting, they were already hit in the face by Lindsay Lohan going from a teenager to the age that their mom is.
Yeah.
Imagine having to explain Pamela Anderson being in this movie to them.
Right. But she's playing the same character she's playing that character from the first one. And 10 minutes into the movie, I actually think it should happen sooner. I think within 5 minutes, she changes with a dog. You think they'd be a little confused by that? It's the same character. It's a new actress who you've never seen before because she's mostly famous from Baywatch and a leaked tape.
Yeah.
And now she's taken over the role, and honestly, during the credit montage, she switches with the dog.
It's a cartoon. It's like a cartoon credits.
Yes.
Where they just show the body switch.
Yes. Yeah. In the cartoon style, Fritz the Cat.
Yeah. The Fritz the Cat style, which is really popular with the kids. I do think it'd be too confusing for young people and the people who are nostalgic for that. There is love for Jamie Lee Curtis there.
Okay.
And so I don't think
that the love for Jamie Lee Curtis outweighs the resurgence of Pamela Anderson and introducing that her character switches with the soul of a dog.
In that role specifically, I do think Jamie Lee Curtis, her absence would have scuttled the movie.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, I tend to disagree, and I'm not disagreeing because that's my thing.
Okay.
Especially today on my birthday, we're not starting that is Pat's thing. But I do think that's a more commercial film.
Replacing the lead actress
with a different actress.
And then switching her into a dog's body.
During the credits in an animated sequence.
I agree with the credits thing.
Yeah. That's a no-brainer. Reach across the aisle, we agree.
Yeah.
Style of Fritz the Cat cartoon.
Yeah.
That's the opening animation for Freakier Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is why we do need to develop a B.O. Boy supercomputer that could run all of these simulations in real time and give us exact, data on
box office on how this would have turned out.